Yeah, peace to the gods and the goddesses, man. Got to do a little touch up on the touch up. Talking about the gods, basically the so-called black race warring with themselves. You got to know that the souls are connected. We all connected, the souls. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about how they be talking about everything, all energy is connected. You know what I'm saying? We ain't dealing with that right now. We dealing with the souls. You know what I'm saying? When they want to talk about I was on that wagon. Damn, which way I came in? I was on that wagon, but like I stated before, I just got to start thinking about things, got to come in my mind, and then I hop up off the wagon if it logically makes sense. Now, they would say that we all connected, but that's like it's sort of like a play on words with that. See, the connection will have to do with a certain type of energy taking instructions from another type of energy. In other words, the energy that's needed to be governed would have to be connected to a higher energy in order so that lower energy can learn how to discipline itself. So that would be that when we talk about we're all connected. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second.
Please insert your parking ticket. Please insert your parking ticket.
You got it? Oh, thanks.
Put it here. In there?
I don't know, man. It's my first time coming in here.
Where you putting it? All right.
All right, now. All right. Yeah, so so that whole thing of talking about we connected and they try to make it seem like we all one. Nah. You know what I'm saying? That because once again that plays in synchronicity with the ego, man. We're not all one. You know what I'm saying? You have a higher frequencies that govern lower frequencies. So that whole connection just has to do with the lower frequencies being connected to the higher frequencies and being governed by the higher frequencies. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the gods, they warring with themselves. Meaning that there is an internal war going on. And you got to know that this war that I'm talking about is a type of chaos. It is a type of chaos or a result of being disconnected from the higher frequencies, which would be gods, which would be those God beings. You know what I'm saying? So because we disconnected from reality, because like I said in past videos, man, check them archives. There's only one reality, and that's God. There is only one reality. Man cannot make reality. Man makes the matrix, which is an artificial reality. But in order for man to create this matrix, this artificial reality, man would have to know that an authentic reality exists. Those people who run the planet, they know what I'm talking about. You know, there's a lot of this stuff that I'm saying, a lot of people ain't gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? But the people who's running the planet, they know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So this matrix here would just be a carbon-based copy. You know what I'm saying? So the gods is warring with themselves, and then it plays out. In other words, whatever is happening internally would manifest out into the realm where those beings occupy. So when you see the so-called black man getting at the so-called black man, or the so-called black woman getting at the so-called black man, or the black woman getting at the so-called black woman, that's because they have an internal war that's going on. They truly are disconnected from themselves. We ain't gonna be talking about how they hate themselves and all this and all that, because the gods don't deal with love and hate. The gods deal with critical analysis. And when beings that's supposed to represent God are disconnected from God, they are no longer to make those critical analysis, and therefore they would go, or should I say, therefore they would run that hybrid program, which would be emotions, which all got to do with the moon. We beings of the high light, the sun. You know what I mean? Yes, the gods live on the suns. I levitate on that. Gods live on suns. Creatures live on planets. As I stated before, check them archives. You know what I mean? So we warring with ourselves is because we are disconnected. We are that live wire that's running, that's hitting everything, turning things on fire because we're not grounded. We are not grounded. We vibrating low. When gods vibrate low, we don't know. Everything is based on a certain level of vibration. The least you vibrate, the more ignorant you are. The more ignorant you are, you become a believer. You become a believer when your mind is in limbo, aka a lunar frequency. You don't know where you at. You don't know how you got here. That's broke down before in the past videos with those dreams. You know what I'm saying? You go to sleep, you wake up in a dream, you don't even know how you got there. You don't know how the hell you got there. But you start seeing things, and then you just start playing along. You start playing along. You know you ain't from there. You know you don't know these people, but you start playing along. It's like that movie Groundhog Day. You know what I'm saying? He kept repeating the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? He just started to play along. It showed you that he played along with it. Ain't really realized how he got there. Then he started playing along. And when he started playing along, he was only expressing what? Emotions. Things that the flesh wanted to do. That whole movie was based on, it was based on a fallen god being trapped in the realm of the fallen gods, because that fallen god was looking at the lesson as an opportunity to please the flesh instead of learning the flesh. He want to have sex with this woman. He want to rob this bank. He want to do all this stuff in the movie. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with the so-called black man and the so-called black woman. You know what I mean? They don't know who they are. So when you get in a dream, you don't know how you got there. You see things, you start playing along. Even if you come into consciousness that, damn, I'm dreaming, you still don't fully know how you got there. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I went to sleep and all that. Unless you have that total recall. Okay, you know, I went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Then I went through the vortex. You know what I'm saying? That happens rarely. You know what I'm saying? If you have that complete recall. You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, these people ain't having these. I mean, these people can't even remember what the hell they ate for breakfast 3 days ago, man. You know what I mean? But yeah. So the so-called black man, the so-called black woman, they warring with themselves. That's why it lashes out at the whole race. Because we have become disconnected as a light race. We keep focusing on this damn flesh. We would never connect with the flesh. We would never come together under the guise of some skin color. Because we are not skin color. We are light souls inside of a biological body. Inside a biological body that was tailor-made to represent planetary terms and conditions, man. You know what I mean? So we would never come together under the guise that we all black people, or we skin color, supposed to be looking out for the skin color. Nah, the only way we're going to connect is if we connect with the real body, which would be the soul. We have to have that soul connection. You know what I mean? The real soul connection. Straight up. Got to do with the Star Wars. Looking at everything vicariously. You know what I mean? not seeing things how they are. In fact, they got this stuff that the Hebrew Israelites always say this. They would say things like how it was in the beginning. It'll be like a contradiction, because they would say how it was in the beginning, it would be in the end. Then they would say in the same sentence, the weak would inherit the earth. Yeah, we're gonna get the earth back. So you qualifying yourself as weak? You know what I mean? Think about that. How it was in the beginning is how it would be in the end. The weak will inherit the earth, and the poor and the rich will be poor. Nah, man. You see, these people don't realize that the weak already inherited the earth. The damn humans is weak compared to the damn gods. Humans ain't got nothing on the gods. They already inherited the earth. There is only one wealth. And that is a vast amount of intelligence, period. All this other stuff, these houses, these cars, this money, bling, that ain't no wealth. That ain't no wealth, man. Real wealth is knowledge. High level of knowledge. High level of acumen. High level of insight. High level of clairvoyance. That is real wealth, because real wealth is priceless. You can't put a price on wealth. You know what I mean? It's way out the monetary realm. Wealth. You know what I'm saying? It supersedes all of that. So when they talking about the weak will inherit the earth, the weak already did inherit the earth. And that would be the human race. And how did they inherit the earth? Don't they say that the Hebrew Israelites say that the gods will give the earth to the weak? Well, take a look in the mirror, Hebrew Israelite. You are the damn gods that gave the earth to the humans, because you fail to carry yourself as a god. We gave the planet over to the humans because we fail to be the gods on the planet. We took a hell of a vacation, and we still on vacay right now. You know what I mean? Because we still warring with ourselves. So many different ideologies, so many different terms, so many different breakdowns. Eliminate all of that. And just realize that you are the god and the goddess, and that you got a duty, and your duty is to rule. You gave up your throne. You gave up your seat to rule. You know what I mean? So we already gave the planet over to the weak. Because ain't no human could even be compared to God, when God is in their first natural state, meaning that mental being, that advanced thinker that just knows how to think his way out of everything, think her or his way out of any situation. Everything is already pre-calculated. Y'all know it. When y'all get in certain situations, what y'all do? Y'all look through different timelines. You look through different timelines. When you look, let's say you get into a situation. Let me see if I create a situation real quick. I'm gonna keep it practical. We ain't gonna be all going on heavy and deep. Let's say you driving and you get a parking ticket. Immediately when that cop give you that ticket, or sometimes even before that, you begin to look into different dimensions, but you don't know that you're doing that. You're doing that when you running those imageries in your mind. Oh damn, I'm gonna have to do this, I'm gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? That's how you remote view. You actually looking at different timelines of you going to the bank, pull the money out, you going to say to court, oh, this is what I'm gonna say, this is what I'm gonna do, boom, boom, boom. You're looking at different streams of timelines. You're looking at different existing timelines that you exist in, and based upon the one that suits your flesh the best, that's the one you choose, and you animate it out. You know what I mean? You look into different timelines every time you play scenarios in your mind. Sometimes, you know, they now I ain't gonna say yeah. Sometimes they program a lot of scenarios in your mind, but you still create those timelines. Come on, man, it's got double park. What the hell, cuz? You know what I mean? You look, but the advanced remote view now, see, that's like a practical remote view. But when you do the advanced remote view, that's when you can like alternate certain pieces within the timeline. Because in order for you to do the advanced remote view, you have to be doing it from like a fourth dimensional perspective. You know what I'm saying? You got to be that fourth dimensional being. And you know the fourth dimension got to do with you manipulating matter. You know what I mean? So when you do the advanced remote view, the way how you see it would be the way how you see it would be way more different than how you do it on a regular joint, like you just sitting there and just playing back certain scenes in your mind. It'd be way more advanced when you're doing it, because you will actually hear the sound and see the imagery, and you mentally move things out of the way. Like, okay, I don't want this here, son, and you just move it out of the way. Somewhat like in that movie Frequency, man. And that all got to do with when you vibrating on the hertz that's in accordance with your makeup. When you vibrating on the hertz that's in accordance with your makeup, objects would appear to move up out of the way, but it's actually working in harmony with your movement. Just like that movie Frequency, when the girl walked in the train. You know what I'm saying? The dude got up. She knew he was going to get up. She walking on the platform. She found the money. It's not that she found the money. It's that she's so in harmony that things... She's basically so in harmony that she knows whatever is included in her life would be there to her sister, to assist her in future events. Her finding the money was there to assist her in the future event for her paying for whatever that was she paid in the jewelry shop. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is when you're in harmony. But when you're not in harmony, things work against you. They always work against you when you're not in harmony. So it's like God is constantly telling you. That's why I say it's many different Star Wars. There's many different wars on many different levels. God is constantly showing you that you're not in harmony. And when I talk about harmony, I ain't talking about peace. That ain't got nothing to do with that. All got to do with the ego. This peace thing got to do with the ego. When you're not in harmony means that you're not in tune with God. And I ain't talking about these fake mascots, these fake fairy tale gods, these comic book characters they give you in these books. I ain't talking about that. You know what I mean? When you're in harmony with God, you know what I'm saying? Also got to do with being in harmony with yourself. Things would appear to move out of your way, but in actuality, everything is in sync, is in synchronicity. Everything is in sync. You know what I mean? Like the cells that's floating around in your body. You could tell if somebody is not in harmony for the mere fact if they have free radicals going on in their body. Matter of fact, there's certain times when you could look up at the blue sky and you would see the cells floating in your eyes. Pause for a second. Go look at the blue sky. This happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's how you could do a light scan. Go look up at the blue sky, see the cells in your eye, and see if the cells is colliding with each other. If they colliding with each other, you're not in harmony. Because the cells not supposed to collide with each other because they all have microscopic follicles on the surface of the cells, which serves as a medium for them to communicate with each other. You know what I mean? It serves as a medium for them to communicate with each other. Those little hairs, just like the hairs on your head and the hairs on your skin, they serve as a medium for you to communicate. Hold on for a second, man. Yeah. Who you talking about? Yeah, we basically talking about different levels of wars with the gods. You know what I'm saying? So we basically warring with ourselves because we disconnected. You know, we vibrating too low, man. The lower you vibrate, the less you know. The higher you vibrate, the more you know. You know what I mean? So I say, yo, there's many ways to break down that movie Star Wars, man. Man, listen, son. It's never one way to break down something. You know what I mean? Because you gotta know, you gotta be able to take things apart and all that. But yeah, with that movie Frequency, man, they were just basically showing you a being who was in control of their destiny. And you could only be in control of your destiny if you connected. You got to be vibrating high, man. The more networks you connected to, the higher you vibrate. And the networks I'm talking about will have to do with your senses. The more senses that you are connected to, aka network, the higher you vibrate. The more power you would be pushing out. And when I'm talking about connected, I'm talking about actually knowing what the senses do. You know what I mean? They want to talk about we got these little 5 senses and all this and all that. Man, we got many senses, man. Many senses. You know what I mean? It's way beyond the 5 spectrum. Right now we're operating from an inverted 5-sense spectrum. Prison mindset. We judge all of the senses as being utilized by way of likes and dislikes. So it's inverted. Become a prisoner trapped in the prison of emotions, aka the ego. But yeah, man, there's many different levels to break down the wars. It's because there's many different wars that we having, but it all got to do with us being disconnected. And a majority, I'll tell you the truth, man, a majority of the so-called black race, they afraid of God, man. They afraid. They turn into a bunch of damn cowards, man. Cause they vibrating so low, man. You gotta know that fear is a frequency, man. Fear is a frequency. It's very easy to channel fear. It's easy to channel low frequencies, period. Because you ain't got to do that much to channel it in. You pull in the frequency of fear with a thought. I mean, you pull in all frequencies with a thought. When you get nervous, you're channeling that energy in. You pulling that energy in you. You know what I mean? And it's easy to pull in low frequencies. That's why it's called low frequencies, because it's easily accessible. It's easy to access it. But the high frequencies now, it's hard to access those high frequencies, because in order to access those high frequencies, you have to go through a series of discipline stages. The discipline stages that you're going through to activate those high frequencies serves as a training course that prepares you biologically, mentally, and soulfully to pull it in. Because high frequencies could kill you, man. As I stated before in past videos, man, it's very strong, man. You know how many satellites done got blown up? See, NASA I don't know if NASA will be telling y'all about this, man. But there's a lot of satellites that got blown up when they first tried to channel in those high frequencies from the sun. A lot of them got blown up in short circuit. They had to revamp, rewire, reconstruct. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of energy, man. High frequency is a lot of energy. And the energy, wherever the energy, that high frequency energy is going to travel through, that apparatus has to be nurtured or tailor-made to handle that energy. You know what I mean? You could look at it like a switchboard. Say you got a switchboard that could pull in 10,000 watts. Now that switchboard was tailor-made to pull in 10,000 watts. But if you try to push 20,000 watts through that 10,000 watt switchboard, it's going to blow up. You know, it's the same thing with the high frequencies. Your body got to be disciplined in order to harness that amount of energy, or it will kill you. You know what I mean? So when I say that it's hard to pull in the frequency, just know that I'm not putting it off like it's like stressful or anything like that. I'm saying that it's hard in the sense that it makes you disciplined. You have to basically be a motionless being to do it. I'm not talking about a heartless being where you just want to murder, death, kill everything. No, I'm talking about an emotionless being, which is God. A being who understands that emotions are on a certain frequency, just like fear. They on certain frequencies, and God understands all frequencies. God is way beyond the emotional frequency. God knows exactly what emotions is. Emotions is limited. They limit you. You think about how many people didn't do things in life because of emotions. Think about how many people didn't do things in life because they was afraid. Shut them down from evolving. You know how many people right now, 50, 60, 40 years old, looking back at their life like, damn, son, if I would have just did this, man, damn, like, why was I so scared, man? You stop yourself from growing, man. That's what fear is. As I stated before, fear, you know what I'm saying? Or should I say death is a frequency that limits your ascension. And fear is associated with death, because death is, as I stated before, a frequency that limits your ascension. It limits the energy ascension. And that's what fear does. It limits you, the energy, from ascending out of that fearful prison construct that you created because you're afraid to move forward. Moving forward has to do with you ascending. So fear and death works hand in hand, like inhale, exhale. You know what I mean? So it's many, I mean, we could talk about this all day, man. Just breaking down there's many different ways you could break down the war of the gods, man. But at the foundation of it, all got to do with us being disconnected, man. All got to do with us being disconnected. All got to do with us seeing everything from the flesh. We ain't flesh beings, we light beings. We are light beings. There are dimensions. There are high frequency dimensions where flesh does not exist. Flesh only exists in low frequency dimensions because it has to do with a high concentration of the magnetism. Concentrating the energy, magnetism. But you have realms where flesh doesn't even exist. You have realms where the energy particles is just vibrating and spinning so high that only light could exist in that dimension. High light. We ain't talking about the spirit world with that low light, the frequency of death. You know what I mean? Where only the lunar, the diluted sunlight could exist in there, which would be the lunar light. No sun in the spirit world. None. You know what I mean? Man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I already know what it is, man.